most editors are used to actors who don't even know how to do the action and martial art because they're from the John Wayne school of I'm going to wind up, I'm going to cut over the shoulder. The guy gets hit and he wrecks, and you create that thing in cuts. So we're actually a minority. The people who can perform it on camera without cutting, that's a minority. So an editor who's used to the majority is going to, he's going to default to what he does all the time.
Yeah.
And he's going to defend cutting up the Raiders of the Lost Ark. And guess what? He won't be wrong. He won't be wrong because it will still tell the story of I turned, shot the guy. The audience will never know how beautiful, how cool it would have been in the wide shot. They'll never know. And the producer will never know. So because that person took it step by step and denied that visceral experience.
Do you think that how much influence do you think the Hong Kong filmmakers and stars coming in the late 90s, how much influence do you think they had on American editing, American martial arts?
Not enough. Not enough. I wish they had. I honestly wish they had. Because, that's why I started doing movies over in China, because I really wanted to learn it. The way that they know how to move the camera and without disorienting you. You've got these fantastical things, people flying, swords, daggers, and you still know where everybody is. So when I learned how to edit, how to choreograph that way, and how to set up shots that way, as a director, I'm dealing with a guy walking into a coffee shop, sitting down and talking to this person. Well, that's easy. If I can choreograph people running in, this guy jumping from the roof, and all these things happening, and not disorient you because you only have milliseconds to that next cut. People got to know where's that coming from. I got to orient myself. That is an art. And I so wish, America did learn that because they're basically doing jazz fusion. Because and that's what I look at. We're like looking at it from a nerd lens. So, I'm looking at Raid Redemption and I'm like, wow. I'm looking at Crouching Tiger and all these other fantastical, Chinese choreography because they're so used to that's old hat for them. They're on super level of it. So yeah, so I learned a lot through looking at that. I'm sure you did as well because there's a language learned there.
There were quite a few American films that came out around that time, like 2000 to 2002, which sort of like tried to use the Hong Kong editing style, and maybe they had a Hong Kong choreographer or stunt coordinator there. But it wasn't quite right. It was almost like the performers were not ready for that kind of editing. What do you think? When do you think the turning point was? For you, was it Black Dynamite where you're finally saying like, well, I'm just going to take all this and do my thing?
Well, Black Dynamite was a little different because I purely did it like they did in 1974. Very little, camera, look at me kind of stuff. So this is pretty much just straight up and very Shotokan-ish, back in that day. It's just very linear. So, and kind of hokey. So yeah, so I did it time accurate. So, which is pretty easy.
Yeah, I guess what I saw in that, I see that, but then what I saw in it was the coherence of it, right? Like you're showing skills, and there is this sort of coherence in this very deliberate shooting and editing style. So I guess you are talking also about this very deliberate shooting style and editing style from Raiders of the Lost Ark too, because this was something that we did in America very well in the 80s with action films. I mean, I just call that vertically integrated filmmaking, where you're trying to carry this gag. It might be a comedy gag, might be an impact gag, whatever it is. You're trying to carry it from the script to the edit. And you have to have there are all these checkpoints along the way, because it's a very linear process. Was that difficult for you then in Black Dynamite to carry gags through in the way that they were supposed to go?
Oh no, not at all, because I constructed the entire movie, so it wasn't difficult. So yeah, that's why I know the difference when folks don't, when they don't know how to see it through because of I don't want to call it lazy. It's just that there's the other school that they're looking at. One thing I always say is that I don't care who it is that you're debating with. There's a certain degree that they're right, given their circumstances, given their perspective. You have to acknowledge how much they're right about their thing before they can accept anything that you're kind of telling them. What's happened is the editing with action stuff usually suffers when it comes to United States movies. When it comes to the action, they default to the cut thing, because there's a guy with a camera or two more guys with a camera with nothing to do. And they're going to be like, oh, B-Cam, I'm going to catch this. I'm going to catch this thing that, well, when I'm on set of my movie, B-Cam, you sit your ass over there. You're not going to give anybody any kind of reasoning for cutting up something that's designed to work for this angle.
If you were to put your psychology hat back on and imagine what the average person sees when they watch a very cut up action scene. Let's say it's in a big film too, like a very high budget. Everybody knows this film. Action's really choppy. There's a lot of close-ups. There's an insert. Do you think they like it? What do you think they're getting out of it? And what do you think they're looking for?
They don't know any better. Honestly, I feel like they don't know any better. They've purchased a ticket and they may not think there's anything wrong. You and I may be tearing our hair out, but my mom and my aunt, oh, this was a great, they're not going to see anything different, But if you show them, hey, this sequence versus this sequence, you recut it, the same thing, they'll be like, oh, yeah, that's way better. You know what I mean? They'll appreciate it. But, they're just never going to know. Same way, I'll go back to the reference. If Indiana Jones, if that sequence was cut that way, nobody would know anything. Nobody would, my aunt would not say, oh, he should have done all of that in the wide shot. You know what I mean? That's never going to happen. But that's the argument that we're going to have when you're talking to filmmakers and producers who've done a million films and they feel like they know better. And you say, no. Let's do it. I mean, I just dealt with this, and with a movie that I'm in and starred in that I cannot watch. The action, I will fast forward to the action sequence because I can't take it.
Are you ever worried? Are you ever worried that your mom and your auntie will watch that movie and call you and talk about how much they love the action scenes in it?
Oh, they will, because they're satisfied just because I'm on there, but it's just since we're talking some nerd out stuff between us, we know what we really like. We know what everybody would like a lot more.